What's going on, guys? Mayhem here, and today we're going to be going over Gameranx's video that came out yesterday on Before You Buy for Modern Warfare 3. So let's jump right into the video.
Welcome back to another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight-up gameplay and our first impressions with the latest games releasing. We've talked about the single-player component of this game already. It kind of sucks. But how's the multiplayer? Modern Warfare 2 rightfully got a lot of flack for how Infinity Ward handled things. Will Sledgehammer do any better with what is this?
Now, I think that personally, in my opinion, making any Modern Warfare game is a waste of time. If Call of Duty is going to do anything, do Black Ops. That's my opinion. If you're going to remaster a game, remaster Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2. Not Modern Warfare. My opinion. But, yeah, let's continue.
Essentially the same game. Actually, yes, though it's not exactly ambitious. Pretty unambitious, actually. It's just Modern Warfare 2 with a new coat of paint. There are new guns and maps, and at least...
Isn't that every Call of Duty game, though? It's just rinse and repeat.
One new mode, but everything we have seen, it's been there, done that, right? Rather than evolution of the series formula, it's a greatest hits. And given that the devs reportedly only had a year and a half to make a game when they normally get 3, it's impressive the multiplayer is as decent as it ended up being. Again, it's Modern Warfare 2 with some new bells and whistles. A lot of the changes are pretty small, but some of the small changes do make a pretty big difference. The gameplay overall, it is an improvement, although it is mostly falling back on what
it still, to me, just seems like another Call of Duty game, you know.
What has worked in the past. Sledgehammer Games clearly listened to the community and made some noticeable changes that are appreciated, and the game does feel more responsive and fun to play due to these changes. Stuff like slightly higher time to kill, faster movement, slide cam.
See, I don't like the time to kill because, like, for me, I always played on hardcore mode. Always. Whenever I would play Call of Duty and I played multiplayer, it was always hardcore mode. Because I hated shooting a guy 60 times to get shot in the back and die to somebody else because it took so long to kill one enemy. So I always played on hardcore.
Canceling, reload canceling. They make the game feel quicker, more responsive, more fun to play. Slide canceling in particular, I really appreciate. They simplified the button combination for it a lot, and that made it so you can cancel out of it by default now. Instead of forcing you to change your controls, you can just tap the sprint button, cancels right out of a slide. Very intuitive, feels great. I'm sure that people very used to the controls will take a little time to get used to it, but I enjoyed it right off. I got plenty of kills sliding all over the place like a coked out maniac. Insert rickety.
I do want to say, guys, I do love Gameranx's channel. They always have amazing content, amazing videos, so shout out to them.
Cricket catching melon clip here. There's a lot of people playing like that now, but the tried and true method of camping just as effective. I've experienced some pretty annoying campers, but it's nowhere near as bad.
The campers. They're always there. They're always going to be there. That's just something that if you're playing Call of Duty, like, oh, he's camping, you can't really get mad at it because you know what's going to happen. You know there's going to be the guys who just camp.
Bad as Modern Warfare, the 2018 one at release. I feel like the faster movement keeps people moving most of the time. The other, I guess, big change to the gameplay is the addition of this thing called tack stance. You can now hold your gun at a canted angle, which allows you to aim down sights faster at the cost of accuracy. You trigger it by aiming, press it down on the stick. It's kind of cool, but it also feels like something from a game that's a lot more hardcore than this one, and I'm not sure exactly how much it adds to the experience. Sliding forces you into tack stance when you try to aim, so you're not hitting perfect shots while sliding if you got a weapon with a high rate of fire. I'll say it doesn't matter a lot. You die all the same. I mean, weapon with a high rate of fire, kind of just blasting away. Of the 16 new maps added in Modern Warfare 3, they're all remakes of Modern Warfare 2.
Shocker, all the new maps are remakes.
Maps. They're good maps, don't get me wrong, but it feels a little weak. I've played a lot of Call of Duty games, and I've seen these maps a million times. They're promising that there'll be more maps in the future, but would I like to see some actually new maps with the allegedly new game? This is pure speculation, but they kind of feel like holdovers from Modern Warfare 2.
Like holdovers, like games that levels that should have made it, that didn't make it to the game that they had. They're like, well, we'll just throw them in there now.
Remake.
Call them new.
The Modern Warfare remake that shipped with Infinite Warfare had a full multiplayer sweep, but the Modern Warfare 2 remake from 2020 was single player only. Seems like they cut the maps and they've just been sitting on them. And we're finally getting them for a premium. One thing that makes them authentic to the originals is that the spawns are still terrible. There are so many instances where you spawn and instantly die, or see someone spawn right in front of you for an easy kill. The Day 1 patch tried to address this. Sledgehammer even pulled a couple of the maps from the rotation because of the messed up spawns, but it's still a noticeable problem, especially in some of the more chaotic maps.
Especially if you got people who like to spawn camp.
I don't know how the balance is going to shake out with all the Modern Warfare 2 guns on top of the new Modern Warfare 3 guns. From my experience, the new guns are better, but that could be confirmation bias. Overall, things seem fairly balanced. I'm not noticing anything that's completely dominating games that you wouldn't normally see in these games. There's a lot of ARs, but doy. If you don't expect to see a lot of ARs, I think you haven't really played these games a lot. There are a ton of guns in the game now, and honestly, to me, they're kind of starting to run together, especially with all the fake.
Honestly, if I ever do decide to buy this, which I doubt that I will, it'll be for the zombies mode, just because I want to try it out. Because that's what I play Call of Duty for, is for zombies.
Names they give them. Weapon tuning is out this year, which in my opinion is for the better. It's a fiddly waste of time, and in its place they added aftermarket parts, which are special attachments that can actually pretty significantly alter how some guns work. It's a decent idea, but like a lot of the changes made this year, feels a bit like a gimmick. I don't hate it. I don't love it, which is, I guess to say a lot better than weapon tuning, because I pretty much hate that. The new time to kill changes can be frustrating, where it feels like you're unloading into a guy and then they one shot.
That was what I hated the most. You shoot, and then you take one shot, and you're dead. Where was his time to kill?
Not you. The difference feels almost unnoticeable at close ranges, but you really, really feel it at long range. Basically, all Sledgehammer did was turn up the health dial a little bit. By default, everybody's got 150 health rather than 100 in Modern Warfare 2. Small change, big impact. In general, it takes about one additional bullet to kill people in this game compared to last year. Many guns, especially marksman rifles, which dominated the game, have all but become useless now. Getting kills in 2 shots with guns that used to be one-hit kills is huge. And along with some other changes to marksman rifles, like making them get no aim assist while aiming, makes these guns way worse this year overall. I never really used marksman rifles, so not really a lot of...
So if you're the guy that uses that sniper, they got your number now, boy.
Off my nose, but if you love these, it's gonna sting. But they did bring back some stuff that people wanted, like Dead Silence, for instance, is back. There are some new field upgrades that are nice, like the ACS that you can throw on a capture point and it'll capture for you. Probably my favorite new piece of equipment is the Breacher drone. It's ridiculous, extremely powerful. It's basically a drone that flies in a straight line and blows up anything that it hits. I'm sure some people are probably going to start to hate this thing. It's basically a grenade launcher that requires less skill to use.
And it'll be something that'll probably get nerfed. You know, like anything else, if it's too powerful, they nerf it, and then it becomes useless, and then they find something else that's too strong, and then that has to get nerfed. And it's just a vicious cycle of the game getting worse and worse.
But as an eternal noob, I don't care. I like it. I will use it. You can deal with the Breacher drone that I will over-rely on. Now, to be fair, though, if you want field upgrades, aftermarket parts, you got to complete daily challenges on top of leveling up, which I don't love. I mean, just getting to a...
I never really liked the daily challenges. It was never my thing when it came to these kind of games. Some people were like super into it, but that wasn't me.
Certain rank should probably be enough in a game like this, but no, we live in today's gaming environment. There are ways around it. You can get unlock tokens from the zombies mode, for example, but it's still another step for unlocks that doesn't make the game better. At least the daily challenges are mostly pretty easy to finish, but I got a couple that require weapons I don't have.
I'll just be sticking to the zombies mode anyways. I don't even know that I would even jump on multiplayer.
Have access to, which is lame. I don't know what this armory unlock system adds to the game other than slight limits on the most hardcore players so they can't unlock everything in literally a day, but there's enough ways to circumvent the system that it just kind of feels pointless. But hey, daily challenges, love those. Love daily challenges. What a service. What a service. Thanks, games as a service. Pretty much.
I love the sarcasm there. Oh, that's good stuff.
Every gameplay mode from the past few games is here. Team deathmatch, bread and butter, of course. There's domination, search and destroy, hardpoint, kill confirmed, ground war, invasion. I mean, there's a lot to pick from. It's all what you've come to expect from these games, and it feels a little better, honestly. Ground war, invasion is still a chaotic mess of snipers. It has always been that. It's probably always going to be that. And these modes are fun to mess around with, but for me, it's team deathmatch. That's what you come back to. Everything else.
Yeah, if you're not playing the team deathmatch, then I don't know. That's really the only thing to do.
This is kind of a novelty you try out. Not going to say I don't like some modes, but team deathmatch. Seriously, that's what Call of Duty's for, right? There's only one quote-unquote new gameplay mode, War, which is a fun slaughter fest, but with only one map. I'm sure there will be more maps eventually, but it feels pretty tacked on when there's just one map. You complete a series of objectives on a linear map. First, you have to capture some SAM sites, escort a tank, reprogram 2 computers, and you got to do it before time runs out. Each team alternates, and it's pretty fun, but there's not that much to it, and there's a single map. It's a linear map mode with a single map. And zombies. So, zombies. Not much to write home about here. It's mostly a reskinned DMZ mode with no PvP elements. Pretty dull. Like the Treyarch zombies modes are getting a little stale, sure, but it's better than this. Like, when I say a reskinned DMZ, I mean it. Like, ahead of time we were told that it was going to incorporate the rules from DMZ. I don't think it set in.
I can't really speak on that because I don't even know what DMZ is because I don't.
Until I played it, that it's just DMZ with some zombies thrown in. It's still set on a big map that inexplicably has multiple teams on it. It's just that instead of competing for resources, you just kind of run around, and there's also other player. The map also just Urzikstan from Warzone 2.0. Literally the same map, just with zombies randomly scattered around. Feels empty, honestly pretty boring. Things get more interesting the closer you get to the city center and the tougher zombies start showing up. But this really struggled to keep my interest, which sucks because, yeah, again, we've seen a lot of Treyarch Zombies modes, and I'm sure for people the repetition was a lot. But ultimately, I'm fond of these modes, and this was not what I was looking for. I like the carefully crafted, dense zombie maps, not this open world Borefest zombie map.
That's unfortunate that that it seems to be that way, because that was really the only thing that was going to pull me into this game was zombies.
But at least, to say this, the overall multiplayer experience, not bad. I never experienced any connection problems or significant bugs. Multiplayer plays well, but I'll say the CODHQ thing it's awful. Gotta talk about that. It's the new launcher, required to access everything Call of Duty. If you want to play Warzone, you gotta select it through the Call of Duty HQ. The problem is, it's not really a launcher. It's Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer with a new game, which means the 100 gigabyte download is required on top of Warzone and the single player campaign. Activision claims it's meant to make things easier for players, but it doesn't. It makes it worse. Before this update, you could launch Warzone on PC.
Of course it does. Why would they do anything to make anything easier on anybody else? It has to be worse at all times.
PC by launching Warzone on PC. Now you have to do it by loading up Modern Warfare 3, then selecting Warzone, which closes the game and opens up Warzone. I mean, I guess in some ways it's...
Which that wouldn't affect me at all because I would never be playing Warzone, so...
Streamlines the convoluted DLC content stuff from the previous games, but those were to keep the ballooning install size of games in check, at least in theory. This only makes it worse by forcing you to have Modern Warfare 3 installed to play the free-to-play game Warzone, even if you do not own Modern Warfare 3. I will admit, even with all of my complaints, I had a lot of fun actually playing the multiplayer. The changes, they're pretty small overall, but they do make for a faster, more intense, and exciting multiplayer experience. I mean, I'll say everything that makes multiplayer better could have been done with a patch, and everything else doesn't have a huge impact. It's basically Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer repackaged, so there's a lot of content here for people who skipped last year, but the amount of actual new stuff we're getting is pretty abysmal considering the asking price. $70 for what feels like a $30 DLC.
You heard there are $70 for essentially a DLC. Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard a lot of good stuff guys. I have not heard a lot of good stuff about Modern Warfare 3. It's unfortunate. You know, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you're going to do a remake Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2. A good game. Or make a new game and stop remaking stuff. Stop being lazy. Stop making something that you already had and just slapping a new coat of paint on it and say, here you go, here's your brand new game, but it's not really. Stop doing that. And it's not just Call of Duty. It's, you know, Madden. They do the same thing every year. They add the new characters in, and other than that, it's the same exact game. A lot of these games do that, and it's dumb. You don't do anything new. Developers are lazy. Don't get me wrong, it's work to do it, I understand, and they're doing what they're told to do. But make something new, make something exciting, make something different. That's just my opinion. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.